Alright, what's up guys? This is take number 2 on a video that I tried to make quite a long time ago, maybe about a month or so ago. We're revisiting it here. I thought I definitely had recorded it, and when I went to upload it, I couldn't find it on my computer. I don't know what happened with that. I must have deleted it on accident before, but we're coming here now. We will be making some more Linux content for you guys, and this is something that I have done on my live stream here, what I'm going to show you today. And yeah, if you watch me hack live, you'll see me do this from time to time because it's a very handy utility to know how to use, even though it is a little bit archaic in its syntax, and that is sed, the stream editor. You can do some really useful quick edits to files with this utility, and it looks crazy, I'll say. Before I even get into it, I'll just preface it with it looks insane, but it's really not as bad as it seems. Now, as an attacker, what are your use cases for using this normally, right? Because I like to come at things from a practical angle, as I say all the time on this channel. And with that being said, no pun intended there, but with that being said, basically where I would use this a lot is if I'm making a word list, for example, and I'm fuzzing it, right? I'm fuzzing some kind of login and stuff. That's where it comes in handy. Or even if I'm trying to remove empty lines from a file, I can use sed to do that as well. Anything that I need to do that would be very tedious to manually edit, right? If I just need to make one change to a file, well, I can just hop in Vim or Nano or any text editor, make that change easily. Boom. Actually, you can use sed within Vim. Pretty cool. Maybe I'll make a video on that later. But anytime there's a change that I need to keep making on a bunch of lines, especially if you have thousands of lines or tens of thousands of lines in your file and you make a change to, that's where this comes in. That's where this is king. Right now, and to demo this, I've actually created a passwords file in the temp directory. So if I show that really quick, this would be like our word list here, just for example's sake. Now let's say for a hacker, right? Both of these that are hacker, we want it to end in a $, because we know that the password is going to end in a $. We want to test that out, right? Just for example's sake here. Now, obviously with a password list of this size, we just do it manually, but we'll just imagine in a more practical scenario, we got thousands or tens of thousands of entries. We don't want to be doing this manually. So we can use sed for this. So we're going to begin it with a single quote, S for find and replace. That's typically how I use sed. There's other use cases for it as well, other functionality, but S is the one I use most often, find and replace. Sometimes D, I believe, for delete. Don't quote me on that. But the delimiter here that I'm going to show you, / every time. This is how you delimit. So the first thing is, what do you want to do with it? We'll say S for find and replace, delimiter. Now the term that we're searching for, right? What do we want to find, right? So we want to find anything that ends in CKER, hacker, right? Both hacker ones end in CKER. And we want to replace it with, because we still want the CKER part, but we want to add a $sign at the end. Now, the reason I have this backslash in here is because if I didn't, it would be interpreted as a regular expression. In particular, the $sign is the regular expression that represents end of line. So I don't want to risk that possibly being interpreted that way. So I'm going to escape it with a backslash. That's the escape character. And I know this stuff probably looks pretty crazy. It's not pretty on the eyes, hasn't aged well, really, I'll say, but I'm really trying to break this down very simplistically to let you know everything I'm typing and why I'm typing it. Now, after we do the term that we are searching for, we did delimiter, right? And then we did the term we want it to replace with. So it's going to look anything CER and replace it with CER $. So the last thing I put is G for globally, meaning apply this to all lines. Just a habit I'm getting into. I've gotten into. I don't think you always need this, but it's good practice. I put it there. And then the name of the file, which is passwords.txt. So there you go. You see the changes there. it made the changes we wanted it. Now, we could apply it to all lines. I don't want to get big into regular expressions, but this is like your dot star is like everything. So everything up until the end of line. Remember I said $ is end of line? We can just have it replaced with $. Oops. Well, actually, let's just say end of line replace with $. Yeah, because the reason this did this, let's break this down, right? I made a mistake on the video here, but it's a good learning experience, right? The reason that this is all $, remember, this is find and replace. So we're finding, we're basically going to find and replace everything all the way up into the end of the line with $. That's not what we meant to do. What we want to do is just, append that on to the end, right? So we just say end of line, replace the end of line. Because the end of line is actually a character. It's like the carriage return line feed. So it's going to look for end of line and replace it with a $. Effectively just appending it on the end, which is what we wanted to do in this case, right? So similarly, if we want to do beginning, you can say, hey, here's a regular expression, by the way, for you. We said $ is end of line. Well, beginning of line is the caret symbol here, this one. So we can say, hey, look for the beginning of the line and replace that with a $. Now we'll add that $ to the beginning. But one thing to keep in mind about this is if we look at that passwords file, even though we've done all these crazy things, whoops, and I did it again, hang on. If we look at this file, we'll see that no changes were actually made, right? No changes at all. That's pretty interesting, right? So if you want it to be persistent, right? So we'll say we want this to be persistent. What we need to do is we need to give it the -I flag, like so. Now, when we cat it, we'll see that those changes were persistent. Which this is a pretty nice. I kind of like the way this operates. This is a nice way to do things. Whenever I use sed, I always run it first without this -I flag, and then I can see at a glance if it made the changes, properly like I wanted it to. Because sometimes you'll mess up, like we messed up here, right? Can happen. That's why you want to run it without the -I flag first. That way you don't overwrite your data, right? And then when you see everything's good, then you run it again. Use up arrow, and you add this -I flag here. And then you're all set. So yeah, I hope this video was of help for you guys. This is something I've learned from colleagues and over the years, especially during my time as a backup and recovery administrator, and that carried over to the pen testing side. And I wanted to share it out with you guys. Not many people know about this tool. It's a really handy, quick and easy way to do things within Linux. You don't even have to go throw things into Excel and do all kinds of crazy things. You can do it right here within your own Linux terminal. And the nice thing is sed as a utility is available on pretty much all Linux distributions right out of the box. So yeah, it's a really nice tool to have in your tool belt. That's what we want to do as attackers. That's what we want to do if we're going for OSCP or whatever the case may be. We just want to keep adding tools to our tool belt that will make us that much better. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe for more technical content on this pen testing subject, Linux, whatever you guys fancy. And yeah, hit the like button. I will see you guys in the next video.